This is an opportunity to do something a bit different. Friends coming around, 10, 12, 14, 16, it's gonna be phenomenal.
And it's not a difficult thing, but it all comes down to timing. So let's kick off with the duck.
It's a fabulous thing. People go wild for duck. It always sells out in restaurants, and a lot of people don't do it at home. It's a really, really generous, easy bird to cook.
Just give it a rub with oil, salt, pepper, and a grating of cinnamon. And pop some sage inside.
Then onto the chicken. Thyme. One thing you can do, just pop herbs just for 5 seconds in some boiling water. That wakes up all the natural oils.
Into a pestle and mortar. Add a pinch of salt, 3 or 4 garlic cloves, and give it a good old bash. Then muddle in some oil.
And then we can just squeeze it over the top like that and rub it all over. Get it amongst it, you know, there's no polite way to get flavour. Just have to get your hands in and have a good old rub up.
Pop a lemon inside, and that's it. Both birds are ready for the oven. About 1 hour 20 for the chicken and 2 hours for the duck at 180 degrees Celsius.
I'm going to put my chicken in right on the bars. Look at that. And my duck in right on the bars.
This isn't bonkers, trust me. We're going to catch all the beautiful fat and juices in the tray below, which is going to be the base for our amazing sauce. And it's going to give you the most ridiculously good caramelised veg ever.
So first up, just get yourself 4 or 5 lovely small onions.
Leave the skins on.
Fennel. Loads of people see it, but never ever buy it. Cut the lovely herby top off.
Pop those on the bottom shelf. And you can prep the game birds with a rosemary and olive oil marinade.
Pigeon in the countryside, when it feeds on beautiful, lovely natural foods, it's an incredible meat. Almost like steak, so good. Quail, just like a slightly more interesting chicken, but very small. Partridge is one of my favourite game birds, just absolutely gorgeous. It's just a celebration of meat and roasting, and it's just a wonderful thing.
Next up, Cumberland sausage. Get your butcher to roll a nice big one and skewer it with rosemary and bay. Once your chicken has had 1 hour and 20 in the oven, all this is ready to go in.
Woohoo! So look, guys, this is what I'm talking about. So that chicken is gorgeous.
Everything is timed to perfection, to come together at the same time. So chicken out, rest for 30 minutes, and we've made room for the rest of our meat.
The duck's as good as gold, right? We can just put that in the back like that. The quails and all the game birds, we can put these in and around. We're going to cook this for about half an hour. And then under here, just look at that. Got those lovely roasted fennel and onions. Put the sausage straight on top and then back with the door closed.
Meat and veggies roasting away, you can crack on with the polenta.
Think mashed potato. That's what it's going to kind of work like. And it's going to be scrumptious.
Cook as per packet instructions. This lot is going to serve about 15 people. Once it's oozy and thick, enrich with butter and parmesan. That's going to turn your polenta into something truly delicious.
We're just going to fold that through, and it will just make it shine and go really nice, and then beat it in. That looks so good.
Now, the moment of truth.
Look at that. Wow. Sausages, veggies, juice, looking very, very good. All of our birds here, really, really good. The ducks had pretty much 2 hours. The smaller birds, just over half an hour, really. Let's get that fantastic Catherine wheel sausage over there. And then you can see here the veggies. And they've overcooked, right? That's the point. We want it to be overcooked and sweet and gnarly.
Next, for our lovely rich sauce. Pour away the fat and save for another day, and go in with some Chianti. Don't be shy.
Bring it to the boil, scrape the bottom, and you see that? That sticky goodness got the flavour of 10 kind of stock cubes, OK?
Once the wine starts to reduce, in with a tin of good plum tomatoes and the juice of your chicken.
Flavour, 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 guys.
Time to bring all this roasted loveliness together.
So this is the exciting bit.
Grab yourself one massive board, or you can divvy it up onto a few smaller ones.
So now it's time to hack up the meat. It doesn't matter how you do it. You can halve some, leave some whole. Whichever way you do it, just get it in and around that polenta. And the idea is that everyone gets to share a bit of everything. And then we've got our onions and fennel that are just sort of beautifully caramelised. And then last but not least, you've got the gravy. Little bombs of sauce.
Finish off with some gremolata, which is a garnish of chopped lemon zest, garlic and parsley. And you've got yourself a proper celebration on a platter. Crispy skin, succulent meat, layer upon layer of herby, awesome flavour, caramelised veg, and the most creamy, cheesy, gorgeous polenta, all drizzled with that deep, rich sauce.
That is arrosto misto. The guys in the cafe are gonna go wild for that. Okay, guys, roast chicken. It's one of the most phenomenal, comforting, gorgeous meals, and we all love it. Why don't we learn to take it up to the next level?
I'm going to show you not one, but 2 ways to reinvent your Sunday roast. Mix it up and create something surprising this weekend. First, a show-off bird that demands your attention. Super tender with awesome finger-licking flavours. This is beer butt chicken.
Yes, beer in butt of chicken. Beautiful. This method of cooking chicken was kind of American-based. It was based around the barbecue, but also it's kind of cowboy, so
First, you need a dry rub, made with smoked paprika and cayenne pepper, then fennel seeds, coriander seeds, and just a touch of cumin. Finally, some dried chilies, brown sugar, salt and pepper, and whiz up.
Have a little taste. Rubs are always going to be super intense, but try and use your brain anyway. Am I getting sugar? Am I getting some lightness from the fennel seeds? Do I want more savouriness, you know, from oregano or coriander seeds and stuff like that? So you can kind of tweak it to your liking. I want to rub it with oil, getting all the cracks and crannies, and then in with the rub, but I want to get it to stick to every part of it. Create what the barbecue boys would call a bark, okay? Which means like a kind of layer of flavour. It's going to kind of protect the chicken. It's also going to absorb into the kind of frying, cooking, roasting fat. And it's also just going to give that outside layer of chicken just a smash of flavour. This dish has got to have attitude.
Next, it's time to raise the bar with a rather unusual way of keeping our chicken lovely and moist.
The beer up the jacksie. Now, this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm referring to the chicken right now. Okay, so I've got about 1 inch left in there, the most exciting bit. We find ourselves a roasting tray, we find ourselves an orifice, and then we ease it down.
That beer can is there for a reason. It will keep the chicken super moist and infuse it with a light beery flavour as it cooks in the oven at 200 degrees for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Baste it with good quality barbecue sauce 10 minutes before the end. While that cooks away, I want to show you another way to reinvent the roast with show-stopping bird number 2, chicken in crust.
Why? Why would you put chicken in a crust? To keep in all the flavour. So, really simple, couple of kilos of flour. This is like blowout. This is the weekend. This is taking it to the next level.
Mix up the basic pastry dough by adding water and a pinch of salt. This pastry crust is going to seal in the chicken, keeping it super juicy and tender. And when you serve it up, I guarantee it will look nothing like your guests have ever seen. Next, this is a weekend blowout feast, so I want to up the ante with an intense flavoured butter for my chicken. I'm pulling out all the stops. So I've got some gorgeous Girol mushrooms sizzling in some olive oil, butter and garlic.
You know, you can hit it up with some lovely kind of woody mushroom herbs. Thyme, gorgeous. Marjoram, lovely, right? I want to pump up the flavour with dried mushrooms, any dried mushrooms. Some are expensive, some are cheap. Here's some porcini. You just go straight over with some boiling water from a kettle, just cover it. The flavour that will come out of there is ridiculous. Notice that the dried mushrooms now are limp and soft, even in a matter of a minute. So go in with the dried mushroom. Look at the colour of that water, okay? It's like Bovril. This is serious stuff.
Leave those rich flavours to reduce and intensify. Time to prep the chicken.
I'm going to use a spatula, and we're going to get that under the skin. So grab this little piece of skin here, use your finger to separate the skin from the breast meat. Once you've got a couple of fingers in there, go in with this spatula. Once you've created the pockets under the skin, chop the cooked mushrooms with some chopped parsley and a teaspoon of truffle oil. Then simply squodge in a pack of butter. This flavoured butter, just ridiculous. Get it into little holes, carefully push it down into the chicken. Look at that, you've got flavour going all down that breast there. That's serious flavour. Now we're ready to put it in pastry. You want it to be about 1 centimetre thick. Then just going to take a nice little cut at the top here. OK, so we've got 2 bits, a larger piece for the bottom into the tray. Tie it up nice and tight so it will stay put once inside the pastry. Now we're ready and raring to go. We're going to put that second bit of dough over the bird like this. Tuck her into bed. Then we can cut off the excess and we're ready to crimp it at the edge. We're keeping the humidity in, we're keeping the flavour in. It's all staying in. The whole theory of it is just amplifying flavour, and it's dramatic. And when you put that out on a Sunday roast table, everyone's going to go, what? What's that? Alien that's just landed on planet Earth. Put in the oven for an hour and a half at 180 degrees Celsius. Now the beer butt chicken. Here he is. Shiny, gorgeous, finger-licking good. Roasted in all of those beautiful, awesome spices. That is mega flavour. Just finish it with shredded spring onion, some coriander, a little bit of chilli, and that will be absolutely incredible. Then the chicken in a crust. It is something very, very special. Get in there, find the biggest knife you can find, get a cleaver, get a spade, right? Cut around the outside. Oh, chicken. And when you slice into it, you'll see exactly what happens. When have you ever seen chicken like that? Completely and utterly beautiful and tender and gorgeous. That lovely flavour under the skin. It's just ridiculoso. So guys, that's amazing chicken dishes that will blow your mind and completely reinvent the norm. There's nothing better than cooking something delicious for friends or family, and you don't have to wait to the end of the weekend to do a beautiful roast. Introducing pot roast pork, wrapped in cured meat with sage and garlic, and a side dish of celeriac, spinach, and some compotted apple and rhubarb. Oh yes, let's do this. So this is a beautiful piece of pork loin. It's about 1 kilo. We've removed belly and fat to make it convenient. So it's going to cook really evenly, but we have lost flavour. So we've got to add it back in. So we'll do that by creating an amazing marinade and wrapping it in the cured meat. First up, I'm going to use a fantastic herb, sage. The smell is amazing. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Take your pestle and smash it up. Then go in with 2 cloves of garlic. Once the garlic has been smashed, then finish off the marinade process with 2 tablespoons of oil and about 1 tablespoon or 2 of red wine vinegar. That, my friends, is unbelievable flavour potential. Pour it over the pork, and then we can have a nice little rub up. Let's have a look at the cured meat for wrapping. So take a piece of greaseproof paper. We'll rub that with a little olive oil. And then here I'm using a cured meat called Coppa di Parma. But of course you can use Parma ham, use whatever you can get your hands on. And I'm just going to lay out this incredible cured meat, turn this, take that amazing cut of pork. We're using simply rolling and gravity to wrap that, okay? Now at this stage, we want to secure it. So I'm going to take some string, do a double knot, and pull it fairly tight, right? We want to secure that to the pork. And there you go. Something truly beautiful and ready for cooking. So pan goes on, just a little bit of olive oil, a little knob of butter, and as it starts to bubble and fry, we'll go in with this incredible piece of pork. Listen to that, come on, that's what it's all about. Now, we will just move this pork around and we'll achieve a little bit of light golden colour. While the pork browns, slice up a stick of celery, cut the red onion into wedges and add to the pan with a couple of sprigs of rosemary. It's just lovely, savoury flavours. This is going to be beautiful. So, you know, as it starts to fry and get golden and crisp, then we add a little Chianti, just a little. We don't want to boil, and that's going to create the most amazing sort of humid, delicious environment where the fat and the Chianti is just kind of creating this shiny cream that just bastes the meat. That's pot roasting. So it's going in the oven for about 40 minutes. Every 10 minutes, I'll turn it and baste it. And this will give you golden, delicious, moist pork. What I'll do now is bang this in an oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. It's going to be truly amazing. So as that beautiful pork cooks, what could go with it? I'm thinking celeriac. You can steam it, grill it, you can mash it, you can pretty much treat it like a parsnip or a potato, but also most of the flavour is in the skin. So I've had a proper little scrub up. Generously sort of cut off those lobes of skin. There you go. So all I do here is a little seasoning and a little oil, celeriac cracklings in the bottom of the oven.
Into a new pan, add a tablespoon of olive oil, a few sprigs of thyme, and go in with the chopped celeriac.
And about half an hour of cooking and that will be beautiful. As that's happening, I want to do a compote. Apples, very, very traditional, quite British, but then I'm kind of rifting off into the wonderful world of rhubarb. Sour. It's got that kind of weird sort of tropical slap.
Chunk up the rhubarb and add to the roasting tray. Then peel and chop a red and green apple. Add a pinch of salt and pepper, a tablespoon of brown sugar, a splash of red wine vinegar, and throw in a knob of butter.
So give it a nice little mix up. This goes in the oven. Let's have a look at our pork and give it just another drizzle of the Chianti. Look at that. Just move it over and just add that juice and it's going to be amazing.
Put the pork back in the oven and let it cook away, remembering to turn and baste it every 10 minutes.
Come on! Look at that gorgeous, simple sauce. Now, I'm going to let the meat rest in its juices, right? About 10 minutes. That will give you a tastier, more tender cut of meat. And then here, we have got the celeriac. I want to bring some greens into the story. So baby spinach, 2 bags, get it in there. Use the residual steam, a couple of minutes, and then it's plate up time. So exciting. The smell is phenomenal. Look at this. Come on. Colour, flavour, smells, that's what it's about. If I just push it, look at the moisture coming out of it. Dry pork, no longer. No way, Jose. Different vibe, but it's going to put a massive smile on your face. The idea of sauce, gravy. Right, we're not going to have pints of the stuff, sorry. But what I'll give you in return is flavour like you've never had before. And we've got a roasted rhubarb and apple compote. Crispy celeriac cracklings. Ladies and gentlemen, pot roast pork wrapped in cured meat. Oh, that is so good. Nice bit of the old cured meat, the silky soft pork, and that Chianti juice is so good. Little kiss of sweetness from the compote. That, my friend, is a little fork of heavenly beauty. Oh, what a way to start the weekend. So I absolutely love giving veggies the same care and attention that you would a beautiful cut of meat.
This incredible meat-free pot roast is so full of flavour, it puts the humble cauliflower centre stage.
So we're going to get 2 tablespoons of olive oil. The pan's currently cold. And then get yourself a speed peeler. I've got a lemon. Just take long bits of the yellow peel into the oil. And as the heat comes up, you're going to get just an amazing flavour that comes out, but the texture will change as well. We're going to go big and bold with the garlic. We're going to use a whole bulb of garlic. And when we long cook it like this, inside there will be sweet and delicate and beautifully perfumed. So the garlic goes in onto a kind of medium-high heat.
Destone 10 olives and add it to the pot.
They act like seasoning, so you're going to get more flavour than ever. The herb I'm going to use is oregano. Run your fingers down. It smells incredible. Now, get 2 red onions. I'm just going to simply cut those into quarters. Just take them apart, like little petals. Stir those through. Look at that. Just beautiful colours and flavours happening there.
And to add even more flavour, slice up 300 grams of new potatoes, quarter up 10 large tomatoes, season with salt and pepper, and top up with 500 millilitres of water, then bring to the boil.
And then that's going to be the most amazing welcoming party to that, the humble cauliflower. One of the cheapest veggies you can get, but this is designed to carry flavors. Like the shape of it inside will hold on to sauce. So this, my friends, will now go into there. But what I do want to do is a little trick here. Let me just show you. Carefully put the tip of my knife into that stalk in a little cross. And that will allow heat and moisture into that, and it's going to cook perfectly. And then we just nestle it, squeeze it, push it right to the bottom. Little drizzle of olive oil just to protect those leaves, and they'll go crisp and golden and gorgeous. So I'm going to cook this now in the oven. The oven's at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit. The lid goes on for half of the cooking. So the first half of cooking is steaming.
So let the collie cook away for 30 minutes, then it's all about intensifying the flavour.
Time to give the collie a good basting, just like a cut of meat. You can see everything's started to cook down. So we take those juices, and then we can get those fantastic fragrant ingredients like the olives, the garlic, the lemon, the oregano. All of that is going to seep right into the heart of that collie, and you wait. It's going to be absolutely beautiful.
So back in the oven for another 30 minutes until cooked to perfection.
Amazing, look at that. Come on. So you can see we've got colour on that cauliflower. There she is, in all her beauty.
While the collie rests, toss some charred, frozen broad beans and peas into the pan and cook for 5 minutes to supercharge the stew with even more veg.
Look at the colour. Get the spoon in there and scrape the bottom of the pan. You've got sticky bits. This is all flavour. Then we can take out our little friend, Mr. Garlic, and then inside there is just the most amazing flavour. And just mash it all up. And then when you get that and put it into that, we've got this beautiful, gorgeous thing. Right, spoon that in and around the cauliflower. And then a squeeze of lemon just to kind of bring everything to life. That is a celebration of cauliflower. Let's get some of this nice stew on the bottom. And get in there. Look at that. The flavour is extraordinary. Earning the stripes on flavour, you know, really just giving it that TLC, just as you would a cut of meat. A really tasty, scrumptious dinner.